Hello. Welcome back to Fl'AwesomeBlossom. Today, we're going to be talking about God's cosmic time out. And before we begin, I need to tell you that I know, of course, I haven't seen you in about 2 weeks, and that's because I've been having a lot of technical issues on my side. And I reached the point where one of two things had to happen. I either had to evolve as a person, or I was going to throw this entire computer against the wall and then out the window. And somehow, in all of that, it got me thinking about rainbows. And I think it's been a misunderstanding for a very long time. Because most of us see a rainbow and we think, oh wow, hey, that's God's promise. And that's it. That's the end of the story. And then I reread the story, right? Like I went into this guy here and I reread Genesis, and I reread the part of the flood. And then I read the part about the rainbow. And guess what? The rainbow's not for us. I mean, it's not just for us. It is actually describing something that God sees. And that when he sees it, he's going to remember his covenant. Okay? So I'm just going to read this to you, right? It is Genesis 14. So God is actually speaking here, and he says, "And it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth, that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature and all flesh, and the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. And the bow shall be in the cloud, and I will look upon it, that I may remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature and all flesh that is upon the earth. And God said unto Noah, This is the token of the covenant which I have established between me and all flesh that is upon the earth." So I think a lot of people have read that and they're like, wow, when we see a rainbow in the sky, we're remembering that God's promised not to destroy us, which is true. But that is not really what's going on there. I mean, it is, but there's so much more to it. It's basically God's checkpoint, right? It is God's cosmic timeout. So when he sees the rainbow, he remembers the covenant. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm not supposed to destroy the people anymore. Or I'm not supposed to do that again. And this raises a very interesting question. How often is God looking down at humanity and thinking, all right, time for flood 2.0. And then gets the storm clouds going, everything's happening, and rainbow. And he's like, oh, right. Rainbow. The covenant. Never mind. And life just continues. Like, imagine God watching the world news today. He must be going, absolutely not, and wanting to just like wipe us all out. And then the rainbow appears and he's like, dang it, right, the covenant. And then one day a double rainbow appears and the angels are probably all like, sir, this seems a little excessive. And God can only reply, yeah, but look what they're doing. They're doubling down on their dastardly deeds. So I needed twice the reminder. Humanity is just doubling down on testing their warranty. All right, now I want you to take a step back, okay? And I want you to really look at what it means then symbolically. The rainbow is not proof that anger does not exist. The flood story makes it very clear, right? There's a lot of intensity in that flood story. There's a lot of judgment, frustration. There's a lot of chaos. You know, choose all the language you want there. But all of that is part of the story. All of that boiling, broiling anger that God had towards humanity, because we were just making a absolute garbage. we were just doing garbage then. And he must have been really angry. He's so angry he had to like start all over again. But the rainbow is proof that anger doesn't get the final word. Okay, I'm going to say that again. The rainbow is proof that anger doesn't get the final word. It's restraint. It is a cosmic timeout. It is power choosing not to escalate. And if you really look at this symbolically, the rainbow can only exist. Actually, this is literal as well. The rainbow can only exist when two things are happening at the same time: the storm and the light passing through it. Because a rainbow is a process. It is an active process. It is light waves traveling through and being reflected in actively falling water. So it's not peace. It's the ultimate power under merciful restraint, right? It's rage and restraint. It's impulse and interruption. It's power and promise. Something is still intense. It's still pissing God off. But something stronger is choosing not to destroy because of it. And guess what? This is where it gets uncomfortably relatable in our humanness. Because we all have our own little rainbow moments, don't we? It's that moment that we're just about to send that text, we're just about to say that thing, burn that bridge, end that conversation, lose our ever-blooming minds. And then something inside of us goes, rainbow. Like, maybe don't. And guess what? That doesn't mean we're weak. Because what it really means is that we are strong enough to hold a second thought. Strong enough to hold the second thought before the first one grabs the wheel and like runs us off the road. So maybe the rainbow isn't just a pretty little thing up in the sky, right? Maybe it is the visual representation of the part of us that remembers who we want to be when we are most tempted to forget. So that is my Fl'awesome Bloom Burst thought of the day. Now go forth, my darling dahlias. And if you see a double rainbow today, maybe God checked what was trending and then he checked himself before he wrecked himself. You know, because humans, like, we're made in his image. Anyway, you know what I mean. Now get out there and you live your life in full-on Fl'awesome Blossom. You're going to see me next time.